Hello, my name is Shuttle here. Welcome back to another episode of Colombian Space Initiative in Supreme Ruler Ultimate. And, well, in previous episode we finally got the synchronous power grid research. We haven't gotten quite yet the industrial shipbuilding. I did skip forward by about 4 months. So we're about 5 months away from the election time. I started building a bridge over here right now, just so that we can get the supplies flowing down this side as well, a little bit better. Now, of course, it's going to take some time to be completed, but that's alright. We are still making money despite we are constructing that. Of course, it's also going to take quite a bit of supplies. But again, we have enough supplies that even though we build this, we still have enough to build another industrial goods factory. Which, to be fair, we still have quite a problem with the unemployment. So that's not going to happen anytime soon. I have started improving the income that we get from production maybe a tiny bit. I'll also lower the taxes again a little bit, but the support that we have is not massive yet. I suppose I could lower this by another percentage or so. Now the hope is that once we get this bridge here, we will increase the production of the agriculture in here, which will then of course be fairly handy in terms of keep it in the food production. I mean, if we have a look at the trade, we don't actually spend all that much money for buying the agriculture. But if we need to spend less money for that, that's better for us. Now, of course, we do have pretty high price on the... Actually, we'll probably lower this by a lot of it. It means that we'll be buying a bit more from the international markets, but we should still be making profit despite we're buying them. Although, we'll see if that actually works or not. But that should also increase the domestic approval rating. It's currently 26.5. And yeah, we still don't have a massive advantage in terms of we don't actually know the exact numbers. Those are just rounded up numbers to the closest percentage. So we probably have somewhere around 30.4%, and the other one might have 29.5% or something like that. So there might be almost a full percentage difference between the Freedom Party and us as the Citizens Coalition. But anyway, the shipbuilding is still 79 days away, and yeah, soon enough we should start getting the reports on how much is it. Actually, I think that's going to start in July, but on how much the actual numbers for the elections are. So that should be alright. In the meanwhile, we're waiting for the bridge to be completed. It doesn't take too much time, I don't think. Can we actually... Well, we're currently losing a tiny bit of money there, but I'm going to increase the spending on that a tiny bit. I don't think it actually has an effect on the speed, not massively anyway, but it's alright. And once we get this, we might actually build a railway around here as well, just for the heck of it. Yeah, a bit of a loop here with railways, and eventually we do want to build a railway going through here, maybe connect to that one as well, and go through here to link up with the Barranquilla, which is a pretty important area. Then, of course, this area we do need to link up to the railways at some point. This is linked to the railways in Venezuela. Speaking of which, we have gotten a fair bit of the deals with them already. Can we get the full transit treaty? I suppose if we're willing to pay for 1 million, it should... Yeah, 1 million. Okay, good. So we got the full transit treaty. We get a non-aggression pact with them as well. Probably for another... Oh, 2.1 million there. But anyway, now we have at least one of our neighbors more or less not going to be declaring war on us at any point. I mean, we've got pretty good relations with them for the most part. That shouldn't really be an issue. Now, we have lowered the domestic prices on various things quite a bit, including the food, which we still don't actually produce all that much. We could probably lower the food price even further if we want, but I'd rather see if we can keep it so that we don't need to buy food from elsewhere and pretty much just produce just about enough food in our own country here, but we'll see how that goes. And we have also increased the, or lower the price of the consumer goods, so there's not as much sales going on with that. Still making a decent profit though, mostly now from petroleum though. Or petroleum is now the biggest one. And even that we have actually lowered a tiny bit because we've lowered the price to $14. It's just 40% extra to the production cost. I suppose it's alright. Shipbuilding is 46 days away. We should be getting the reports on the elections rather soon. About a week or so. And it should start appearing. Actually, countdown to election. 99 days left. Okay, so we got 30.6% while the other one has 29.4%. So we are actually we're a fairly comfortable lead right now. Does that mean that we actually have the... Yeah, it's now listing us as 31%. Good. So we should be able to win this election without too much hassle. I mean, I don't think we'll be increasing the taxes too much after the election either. Has that had any effect on the... Not really much in immigration. Immigration has gone down a tiny bit again. Birth has gone down a little bit because we did increase the education funding a tiny bit. Deaths are still slowly climbing up though. We are now 5.4 million in total population. So in span of about 3 years, we've increased by 100,000. That's not too bad. We'll try to keep that up as long as we can. There's still not been any wars in the world, so that means that the military goods price hasn't really started climbing up. Now, another thing that we should probably do at some point is get some of the military unit designs. Come down to election. 30.7% right now, our support. Okay. It's actually still going up. Alliance with Australia and New Zealand. Interesting. Not surprising, but interesting nonetheless. Right, so how's the bridge coming along? It should be completed now. So, has that actually increased? It has increased a tiny bit. But that's not actually officially yet completed. Or it kind of is and kind of isn't. That has 50%, okay. That has 60... Oh, 71, okay. Now that is completed, that's 62%. Let's have a look, has it influenced that by another 2%? No, 3% now. How much has that affected the food production? It's now 4,900 tons per day. Whereas, okay, the demand is still pretty high. But that does mean that we spend a tiny bit less money on the buying of agriculture products. Although, actually, one thing that I suppose I could do, I know that we don't have the unemployed for that, but I could perhaps build, actually, let's have a look. Where could we build more agriculture down here? Well, not really over there. Over there, technically, but that, well, it's not terrible supply area there. I believe there was some supply, or some places around here that we could build. It has 40% supplies. Again, not great. Not terrible either, but not great. No, I think that one might be one of the easier places to build agriculture in. Or we could build there, that's 47%, so that's actually a tiny bit higher. I don't want to build another industrial complex around here quite yet, because we've got a lot of cities that we can build in industries. But yeah, we're not going to build that quite yet, but it's a good thing to keep an eye on to the options that we have. Okay, we're about to get the shipbuilding. There we go. And assembly lines are going to be the next, and that should be very cheap. Oh yeah, let's put that to the max. I'm only spending 600,000 per day for that, so that is actually helping massively in there. You know what, let's get the artillery design here to the queue, because there's no other resources unlocked quite yet that we can do that we can't buy from elsewhere. So we can slowly start accumulating money, that's for sure, and actually, it's already August, we could probably lower the taxes a tiny bit again. I aim to go for something like 25% taxes somewhere down the line and try to get more and more money from the domestic sales of products, but so far, don't think we can afford too much yet. And of course, then, if we could increase the... Actually, at this point, if we had the people, getting the industrial goods production for sales wouldn't be bad. And then maybe getting, eventually, some military goods production. We don't need a massive production of that either. But we're probably going to need one proper factory still. It's going to be about, actually, I'm not entirely sure how much it's going to be on a daily basis. Countdown to election, 39 days. We got 30.5% support still. So that's actually gone down a tiny bit. Might be because of the... Oh, actually the unemployment is going up now. Which is fine by me. And the population is also climbing up quite nicely there. Let's have a quick look. So is the... Immigration has gone down again as mentioned, but not much. Births have gone up a little bit. From the previous check. Okay. We got about 100 million in cash though. Can we buy any techs from the United States? Gas turbine theory is 150 million. I don't think we can get that one. That's 300. Let's have a look. How much did you ask for that? 138. Okay. I suppose we could save up the cash for that and then buy it. I mean, we do still need to take quite a bit of time to get the assembly lines. It's going to be sometime... I think in November or December once we get that. But now that we've got this area, so how much? Okay, it's still around 55 to 60% supplies around here by the looks of it. It does fluctuate a little bit. 2.9% unemployment though. I think I want to let it go to 3.5% before I build another factory though. Although, I think I'm going to build one more agriculture farm actually first before I do another factory. But after that, yeah, we do need to start increasing the industrial goods production. And after that, we can then increase maybe consumer goods production and so forth. Keep expanding the industrial goods, or the goods productions in general, because that is usually a pretty good way to get some money. Some good money at that. And, ooh, okay, let's have a look. Price still 13 for domestic. But yeah, I think if we can... How many... We got only 2 agriculture. Okay, you know what? I'm going to build this facility already. It doesn't cost a lot. It will take some population. So it's going to lower the unemployment a tiny bit, which is... It might actually increase the approval rating a tiny bit, but then since the inflation is going to grow with that, it's going to hurt us in the long run. But hold on, how much is that going to take? 60 days. Okay, so that's not going to be done before the election. But that is going to be after the election. We're basically going to win this election anyway, so we don't need to worry about that too much. So I'll already start thinking about what's going to happen after the election. 30.3%, so it's, actually the gap has gone down a little bit more there. But we still have 0.7% lead onto the next one, so we should be alright. We've got 120 million right now in cash. Actually, if we can increase the food production a bit further, we can lower the food price a tiny bit. And that's going to increase the consumption. Oh, I'm going to try to keep the food domestic price and food production somewhat in balance so that basically the use and production are going to, or meat and demand are going to meet up here and domestically, and we can still make a decent bit of cash out of that. Election victory. So we had 30.3, so we had the 0.7% win on the election. Right, we don't have a massive income right now. We are still gaining some, but once we get the agriculture over there, that should help a little bit. How is the unemployment doing? 3%. Okay, I'll let it still go up a little bit. The population is still slowly growing. It's grown by about, well, 4,000 since the last time I checked, so not all that massive, but it's better than nothing. Immigration is still a bit high. I'd like to lower that, and I know that if we increase the social spending, for example, and lower taxes, that is going to lower the immigration. We do actually have a bit... Actually... Right, we don't have any state funding for insurgencies or anything like that. Which is good because we can't probably afford it anyway. I think I'm going to lower the taxes to 42% now. That's probably not the total taxes, but it gives an idea. So we're getting still about 3 million from the taxes total. And that actually increased our income because now they have more money to spend on various goods here. So sometimes, or actually quite often actually, let's lower it to 40%. Let's see how much of an effect is that going to have. The income has dropped quite a bit there. Let's have a look. So how much are we making? Okay, it's about, what, 400,000? So it's still profit. Electricity price is still... Okay, it's just over what we get from the international markets. Okay, approval rating is 26.5% once again. We got 140 million there, so let's go ahead and buy the... Oh, we don't want to give it at that price anymore. Okay, well, 140 million it is. I actually wonder, would Venezuela be willing to buy some techs from... Nope. Alright then, what about, I don't know, Spain? Oh, you don't want anything that I have? What about, I don't know, Denmark? Nope. So I'm pretty bad in terms of tech here. Peru, would you like... No, the basic... I would have to pay for you to take the tech. Okay, never mind then. Eventually we should be able to get some techs that people do actually want, and we're going to start selling those for money. Right, so assembly lines, we're going to get that tomorrow. We're going to get the artillery unit design. I'm going to set in the industrialization into the queue. That's going to be fairly expensive tech once again. Now we don't spend a lot of money for the research right now, but that's fine. Spending less than $1,000 total per day. But yeah, now we've got the assembly lines. The industrialization is going to unlock so many things. We're going to focus mostly on the things that are going to improve our productions. I mean, I don't think there's actually going to be a lot of things that are directly improving the productions. But a lot of the economical things and research things are what we'll be focusing on. So we've got 13 million in cash. That's not a lot right now. How's the... Unemployment is now 3.1%. Inflation has gone down a little bit. As the approval rating has gone down a smidgen, but that's alright. Still enough to win elections. Right then, that is going to take 70 more days before it's completed. How much? Our research efficiency is 100%. It can get higher, of course, but I'm going to need to do a lot of things for that. How's the... Okay, the deaths are still climbing up a little bit. The births have gone up as well. Immigration is now picking up some speed. Eventually, it will hopefully turn over so that the immigration is higher than emigration and the births are higher than deaths, so we'll actually get a decent increase in population, but that is a long-term goal in all fairness. But yeah, so far so good. We actually do produce now more food, thanks to that one. So we could probably lower the price of this a tiny bit. Let's have a look. How much can we lower it so that they actually meet in terms of production and consumption? Supply and demand. I think 60% extra is fairly close. Yeah, and beyond that I don't think I want to go. But that should increase the income. Actually, no, it doesn't increase the income we get from production all that much. Domestic sales is only 1 million right now, according to that. Probably closer to 2 million, but yeah, it's not the best. Not the best. We could probably lower some taxes again, but we are currently at 40% already. We do have quite a significant spending as well, so we do need to be somewhat careful with that. But how is the unemployment is now 3.2%? As soon as we reach it 3.5%, I'll start building the industrial good factory. Speaking of which, we still have enough industrial goods to actually build it completely. We just need to start saving out some money because it is a bit expensive. But I'm sure that we can figure that one out. One way or another. I mean, is there actually a little bit coal there? We got probably a little bit metal. I'm still making some profit from here. That's probably alright. How's the Approval rating is about the same. Alright then, so there's no wars going on in the world. I'm slightly tempted to increase the volatility a little bit, but I know that there's going to be some random nation that declares war on us, or some random major nation then that declares war on us, like Germany. And then they bring in battleships over here and destroy anything that is within 4 hectares of the coastline. So maybe a peaceful world is not a terrible idea. Even though it's a bit less exciting, but... Anyway, so we've got pretty good supply over there. Do we still have a lot of extra... We do have quite a bit of extra electricity, so I'm going to scrap another 2 of those. The reason for that is because that is going to relieve a bit more people or workforce, so we can get the industrial goods production. We of course do need to have a bit extra there, just in case. Or a bit extra in electricity production, because let's have a look. So the industrial goods only take 1400 megawatts per hour, or megawatt hours. So yeah, it's not the most, or the biggest. I mean, consumer goods, yeah, we do produce a lot more consumer goods than industrial goods, in all fairness. And consumer goods, we only have 3 big factories. No, we actually have 2 small ones as well. So at some point we may want to get rid of the small ones and replace them with big ones, but that's not a huge priority right now. The priority is to get the unemployment numbers up a little bit, so we can afford building more factories and expanding our economy. And eventually, once our economy is strong enough, we can start building more research facilities and all that, and slowly picking up speed in the research itself. But now it's mostly waiting for the industrialization. The artillery unit is going to be handy. I mean, it's basically rather poor right now, but if we need to start building like actual military units, then we can. Of course, that will require a lot of military goods, which we don't really have. That actually reminds me, we are buying them for as much price as needed. Has the rubber price hasn't gone up too much. The food price is actually fairly low. And that's not really a problem then either. I suppose I could build the second farm over there as well to increase the food production even further. And then we're going to lower the domestic price a bit more. And the fact that they don't need to pay too high prices for the goods does mean, I think, that the population will more likely grow faster. I mean, okay, the birth speed has actually gone up a little bit. Now, it is already February 1918. Got 60 million in cash. How is the... Okay, 3.3 unemployment, or 3.3% unemployment. Because military, we basically have nothing in there. Diplomacy, treaty integrity is fairly good. Okay, we got the unit design now. We started the industrialization. Let's have a look. Ooh. How much are we spending per... Ooh, 2.2 million. Let's go down to 1.5 million first. See how much we'll lose money with that. Still losing a lot of money. We can probably go to 2 point... Or, not 2 point. Let's go for 1 million per day. That's going to be probably good enough. It's going to slow down the speed a little bit. Actually, no, we're still losing money. At least the inflation is slowly dropping. I'd rather keep the inflation below 10%, if possible. It usually goes a bit hand in hand with the low unemployment and high inflation. Oh, the overall tax rate is actually exactly 40%. Well, that's handy. GDP is $233 per capita. So not massive in all fairness, but hey, it's better than nothing, I suppose. And still, again, a bit behind the world average. And we are actually losing some money here. On the other hand, we don't have that massive... Oh, the unemployment is actually going down now. It could be that people are moving away. There's still some immigrations, I guess. I mean, we do have free flow of labor with quite a few nations in our surroundings. Or about half a dozen nations, I believe. Right, how much are we... I believe we only have 1 mine currently online. Yeah, we got 1 active. So we can't really put that one offline. And over here we got 2 active, but actually, I don't know. We could probably put 1 more offline. Let's have a look. How does that affect the total productions? Okay, there's a small drop there, but should meet up. Okay, so it can actually cover for that. Now we can just go for full capacity. And there's a little bit extra production. We'll get some money out of that, but it shouldn't be too bad. But it would appear that we are once again out of time for this episode. I'll probably do another time skip between the episodes to get the unemployment up a little bit so that we can start building the industrial goods factory and so forth. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, got the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.